Hello YouTube, Magnitude Gaming here with our 13th episode covering the history of competitive play in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now before we begin, I'd like to thank you all for your support. Our channel hit the 100 subscriber mark after we posted our last video. If you haven't checked out our previous episodes, then do that ASAP. Once again, we appreciate it guys. Now back to SJC Boston. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. Go Control is regarded by many as one of the greatest formats in this game's illustrious history. This Shonen Jump would be the last major event of the format, with the ban list looming. It was on the weekend of September 9th and 10th, 2005. Boston, Massachusetts had the honor of being the end of the format. While I'm not sure what the total amount of duelists was, I know that this event was monumental. First, Cybernetic Revolution had been released prior to SJC Indy, but the cards weren't legal yet. Well, now the set was all fair game. Cyber Twin Dragon had entered the meta. You might be asking how. Well, for starters, it could attack twice, and could be brought out by Metamorphosis. All you had to do was just tribute your Blackluster Soldier, or your opponents if you could snatch steal it. Removing a monster then using Metamorphosis to attack twice was absurd. A format with cards like Ring of Destruction and Ceasefire allowed for massive damage. If you exclude FTK decks, doing this amount of damage in a turn was unheard of at the time. Cyber Dragon was also crucial to this change. Before this card's release, you had to actually work to summon big monsters, for the most part. This card was a free summon, and suddenly going second wasn't as bad as before. This could beat over most monsters, except for Jinzo and Blackluster Soldier. Then there was a release of Exarion Universe, which was also a game changer. It had 1900 defense, and which made a good wall against Air Knight Parashath. It could also pierce, which meant that sending monsters was a little worse. Go tokens were just sending ducks against this card. Lastly, this is also the first major event after UDE, Upper Deck Entertainment, had suspended various players from Comic Odyssey. While I can't confirm exactly what happened, I did hear from a lot of people that the players from this team, for the most part, were suspended due to bracket manipulation and fixing side events to ensure that they would be able to play for the prize card offered at Shonen Jump side events. 8 members from the team were suspended from sanctioned events. Most notoriously, former national champion Terasek Punsumbat, Shonen Jump Los Angeles winner Eric Wu, Augusto Moda, and Christian Martinez, who both topped Shonen Jump Seattle, along with the winner of Shonen Jump Seattle, Osman Ortiz, and Michael Fukuyama, who was runner-up at Shonen Jump Indy and finished in the top 4 at Shonen Jump Seattle. While the team remained active, the suspension of key members was crucial. Comic Odyssey would never be as dominant again. This opened the door for some new teams to enter the Shonen Jump circuit. Team Scoop made their first impact in the tournament scene at Boston. Team Scoop was a well-known team regionally in the New York area. Most members played at King's Games, located in Brooklyn, New York, and were very active at regionals, often performing well. The most significant founders of the team were Shane Scurry and Paul Everton. Both would go on to win multiple Shonen Jump championships, and would pioneer the Bazoo return deck that you will see in a later event. Albert Wu was also one of the first players to innovate Cyber Sign OTK, or his own variant of it anyways. Team Scoop managed to get 3 members in the top 8, Paul Everton, Carlos Santiago, and Justin Gillison. Team Overdose was able to match that number. They placed Brian Coronel, Jerry Wang, and Chris Perovic into top 8. Then there was Team Hunger Force. Brent Yetter and Brian Long both got in to represent this team. The East Coast came out strong, with all members in top 8 representing an East Coast team. 7 of the 8 decks ran Exarion Universe in their decks. 4 of the 8 duelists were also main decking Cyber Dragon. Enemy Controller was also seen play, as it was a way to steal opponents' monsters and switch the tokens into attack mode for massive damage. The stakes were high, and the last tournament of the GOAT format would be not one to forget. In top 8, Brent Yetter beat Paul Everton. Brian Long took down Carlos Santiago, and Chris Perovic had to play his teammate Jerry Wang. Chris Perovic beat Jerry Wang to advance to top 4. Brian Coronel and Justin Gillison went at the time, and Coronel came out on top. Top 4 left 2 members of Hunger Force and 2 members of Overdose. Brent Yetter had to play his teammate Brian Long, and Chris Perovic had to play his teammate Brian Coronel. Brian Long used a Ring of Destruction on Blackluster Soldier, and with only 2,800 life points remaining, Brent Yetter had no way to stop it. He lost the game, and Brian Long was on his way to the finals. On the other side of the bracket, Brian Coronel beat Chris Perovic, and it set up a Brian versus Brian finals. It was Team Overdose versus Team Hunger Force. Game 1. Long opened the game by setting a spell, or trap, and passed. Coronel set 2 spells or traps and ended. In the end phase, Long's MST destroyed Coronel's set bottomless trap hole. Long set a card to each zone. Coronel set 1 more and passed. Long flipped his set Heavy Storm, and Coronel chained his face-down Scapegoats. Long flip summoned Exarion of the Universe and attacked a sheep token, then set another monster. Coronel set one spell or trap and passed. Wong hit him with Wink Wind Duo and discarded Coronel's tribe-infecting virus. Moments later, he was down to nothing. A Magician of Faith was flipped to duo him again. Coronel had nothing left in his hand. Wong used Graceful Charity and summoned Tsukuyomi, flipped Magician of Faith down again, and then removed the light or dark monster for Blackluster Soldier, Envoy at the beginning. It attacked the last sheep token, but it was stopped by Sakuretsu Armor. Wong flipped Book of Moon to save it. Exarion attacked the last sheep token and destroyed it. Coronel top-decked Jinzo, and that was enough for him to concede the first duel. Both duelists took time side-decking. Team Hunger Force was one win away from winning it all, and Brian Wong was one win away from becoming the last champion of the format. Game 2. Coronel opened the second duel with a set monster. He set 2 cards to a spell or trap zone. Wong activated Heavy Storm, but Coronel chained Scapegoat. Bottomless was destroyed by Heavy Storm. Wong then activated Graceful Charity, summoned Exarion Universe, and attacked into a sheep token to deal 1400 damage. He set 1 card to a spell and trap zone and passed. Metamorphosis exchanged one of Coronel's sheep tokens for Thousand Eyes, but Ring of Destruction blew it away. Coronel activated Graceful Charity, discarded it, and then summoned Sangan. He attacked directly before setting his last 2 cards to a spell and trap zone. Wong summoned Breaker the Magical Warrior, destroyed Coronel's, set Nobleman of Crossout, and did not attack. He set 2 spell or traps and passed. Coronel drew and set another spell or trap, passed, turned Sangan into defense mode, and blew away Breaker with Ring of Destruction. A turn later, Wong kept up the pressure though, bringing Air Knight Parseth out. Coronel took it with Snatch Steal, but Sakuretsu Armor destroyed it when it attacked. Now, Coronel and Wong were both reduced to top decking. Wong set a card to a spell or trap zone, leaving 1 card in each zone and none in his hand. Coronel played Premature Burial to bring back Exarion Universe. The total life points was 2300 to 4400, with Wong in the lead. Exarion attacked the face down. Coronel did not use the effect, and Wong flipped Mirror Force. It destroyed Sangan and Exarion, and Coronel took Sinister Serpent with its effect. He set it, passed, Wong drew, set a monster, passed, and play was back to Coronel. He set 1 more spell or trap and flipped summon Sinister Serpent and used his own Torrential Tribute. Wong's face down Sangan was destroyed, and it got him Injection Fairy Lily. Coronel set his last remaining spell or trap and passed. Next turn, Wong summoned the Fairy and attacked. Coronel looked at his face down spell or traps, but neither were able to stop the attack. Wong then paid life points for Lily's effect, and that was the game. Brian Wong of Team Hunger Force won SJC Boston. Going through his own teammate and then Overdose, he was able to capture his first title. Brian Wong was the last Shonen Jump champion of the GOAT format, and scored a major upset here. He put his team on the map and took home the gold for them. This event marked the beginning of a paradigm shift in Yu-Gi-Oh! Games would never be as slow paced as before, and while many formats have been skillful, there haven't been any quite like the GOAT format, and maybe there never will be. Thank you guys for watching. Our next video will be covering SJC Atlanta 2005, the first event to be played under the October 2005 ban list. That's a T for Magnitude, guys. Thanks for watching.